Whether it's a Russian win yet, we will see, Alistair. I mean, so far, Ukrainians have been extraordinarily courageous and effective in slowing down and in some cases halting the Russian advance. And even if Russia does ultimately take those southern ports all the way up to Odessa and including Odessa and takes Kiev and takes Kharkiv, Ukrainians will then move to a phase two, which will be fighting an insurgency. So Russia might be able to conquer east of Ukraine, but holding it will be another matter and would require huge manpower. As for Russian ambitions beyond Ukraine, look, if they attack any country which is in NATO, and that includes the Baltic states, for me, it's no question. That then is war between NATO and Russia, because Article 5, principle of mutual defence, if Russia attacks one NATO country, it attacks us all, and we are committed to defending whichever country Russia attacks. Georgia's a different matter, and if you look at Russia's track record over the last decade, they encouraged secession of part of Georgia back in 2008. And then, of course, they took Crimea and encouraged insurrection in eastern Ukraine in 2014. So there's a long history of Russia trying to capture territory in what used to be the Soviet Union, but not in NATO countries. And it would be extraordinarily irrational and actually prompt World War III if Putin was to attack a NATO country. So let's pray he doesn't even think of this.
Two final questions, Kim, if I may. First of all, and I've put this to all of my guests throughout the afternoon, do you think that we are looking at the resetting, a new world order, as it were, with China in the wings watching on to see how it plays out, but Europe redefining itself, Germany spending much more, playing the game better, Johnson finding a way of leadership and so on and so forth, but a new balance of power developing that we will all have to learn to live with?
I do think that, Alistair. I think that we are into a new Cold War. I think you can argue that actually the Cold War restarted back in 2008 when Russia encouraged insurrection and secession in parts of Georgia, and certainly in 2014 when they annexed Crimea. But this is obviously a step beyond any of those things, and there is no way back for Putin now. I can't imagine ever having business as normal with this Russian leader. And so the security architecture in Europe has changed, part because of that, but also because after 30 years of refusing to do it, Germany has committed to spending 2% of its GDP on defence. I think other European countries and us will need to spend more on defence in the future. So we are into, I believe, a new Cold War for our generation.